you're not actually
literally can't do this with a straight face. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I created this look for Halloween where I basically attempted to like dramatically age myself. And yeah, let me just say, I know this intro video is like so cringy right now, but yeah, let's just ignore that part. So yeah, it was pretty much like a whole trial and error process, but what I love about it is that basically anyone can do it. Like, it's not as complicated as it looks, and you don't have to like go out and buy any special stuff for it, like face paints or anything. Like, I literally just use normal everyday makeup. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and as always, every product that has been used is cruelty-free, so yeah, I hope you like it. Okay, so first I'm starting with some foundation. So I'm going in with the NYX Total Drop Control Foundation in the shade Caramel, and I'm not really using very much of this because I still want to be able to see like my real skin underneath, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want it to look too heavy. So yeah, I'm just blending that through with my beauty blender, and I'm putting it over my eyebrows as well to try and fade them out a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here, and it didn't really fade them that much, but we'll get onto that later. But yeah, so I'm just blending it down my neck and everything. And now I'm setting it with this brush, and I'm using the NYX HD finishing powder in translucent, just for like a light coat all over it. And I went over my eyebrows as well. So now what I'm doing is I'm basically finding the like wrinkles and like creases and stuff in my face, hence the stupid faces I'm pulling, and I'm basically finding them and going in with a very light hand with the shade Havana from the ABH contour kit in light to medium. So I'm first going in with like a pencil brush, and I'm going over the lines, and then I'm going in with a slightly fluffier brush, as you can see in a minute, and I'm basically like buffing it out to like give some shade around the area. So I basically skipped a bit of footage, but basically I've done that all around my face, as you can see, and now I've gone in with a much smaller brush for a lot more precision, and I'm using like a dark matte brown shade, and I'm using the shade Dreamer from the Tarte Tartlet palette, and I'm basically finding the most exaggerated wrinkles. Oh, that actually sounds so depressing that I've got wrinkles at age 20. But anyway, I'm finding those points in my face, and I'm going over them with this darker shade to make them look like a lot more defined. So that's what I'm doing here over my laugh lines and by my chin. And I'm sorry I keep going out of frame. I was using a new camera, so I'm gonna fix that for next time, but yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, that's just me making myself have a double chin to find the lines in my face. So this is really good for making the right parts of the creases stand out, so that it doesn't look like a big blurred mess. You've got that sense of definition there as well, which is really important. So now I'm basically adding some like fine lines and wrinkles to the side of my eyes, as you can see. So I'm not like smiling to myself, I'm doing that to try and find where my face crease is. Like, I'm not that weird, I promise. I mean, I'm kind of weird, but I'm not that weird. Okay, anyway, now I'm going back in with that pencil brush, and I've taken the first shade Havana again, and I'm basically using that to bronze up the area where we've put the darker shade. So we just want to basically add some warmth and some shading to it so that it physically looks like sagging skin, if that makes sense. So you want to try and make it look like it's the illusion of it coming outwards, so like bags under the eyes and stuff like that. So that's what we basically are trying to do now. So it's a gradual process, and you have to be quite patient with it because you need to build it up slowly. So that's basically what I'm doing here, and adding definition to the top of the nose as well. I'm bridging that with where my eyelid starts to try and make a slight hooded effect. So yeah, now I'm basically just going over those fine lines, and I'm making them fade out a little bit into the edge of my face so it doesn't look abrupt. And I'm just adding some more shadows and dimension to the creases on my forehead and fading them out on the sides, as you can see. So I'm kind of switching between brushes for when I want a more defined look and when I want to buff it out a little bit. So now I'm basically adding more of that buffing look to the cheek area. So I've gone in with, it's a Real Techniques brush, and it's basically like a really small, precise blending brush, I guess you could say, which is very like concentrated, and I found that that was really helpful for what we needed for this video. So that was really helpful for blending things out. Then I basically took it up to the eyelids, so I'm emphasizing the crease area just a little bit more, but I go and revisit that a bit later. So I just darkened up the eyelids, and now I'm going over and adding some more shadow to the forehead area, and I'm just kind of exaggerating all the wrinkles that we've already got to make them a bit more dramatic, because I wanted it to be kind of dramatic. Like, I feel like I did go quite OTT with it, so you can stop a little sooner before I did stop, but it's personal preference. It's how dramatic you want to go, so, you know, just tailor it to what you're feeling. So yeah, now I'm basically just blending everything out to make sure there's nothing that's really too harsh going on, and that was me getting kind of tired. Okay, so now I'm deepening the sides of the nose, kind of exaggerating that area, warming up the cheeks a little bit more. It was a real, like, continuous process. I did have to just keep adding it and then like stopping, checking, seeing how it was looking. Oh my god, that sounded really... It just didn't sound right. But you know what I mean, like I was just checking to see how it looked, and then I was just adding things, taking away things and stuff like that. And then I basically added like a faint line to my neck as well to just try and blend it out. And then I realised I was going to use a scarf to cover that anyway, so that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, so now what I've started doing is going in with the highlights. So to make the bags appear more realistic and make the illusion of them coming outwards, you need to complement those shadows with a highlight. So I've taken a flat brush and I've taken the shade Heaven, which is like a really light banana shade. It's like a banana-y, white, yellowy eyeshadow from the Too Faced Natural Love palette. And I'm just going and adding that to the middle of the areas where we've created like a bulge. So in the center of the bags, as you can see now, and in the center of the cheeks, and you can tell it's kind of making it look a little bit more realistic that it's coming out. I know that it does look quite bright, quite a strong highlight, but I mean I was going for a more exaggerated look anyway. But if you wanted it to look a bit more natural, you can just go with like a more natural banana shade that you would use on your skin tone. You can use that instead of something like drastically brighter. But this was what I wanted to go with anyway, so you can, you know, do what you're feeling up to. So yeah, I'm basically finding everywhere where I've added the brown shadows, and I'm just going in and complementing all of that with the lighter shade for the highlight. So as you can see, this is a finer brush now. It's actually a nail art brush, but yeah, it came in quite useful today. So I'm using that for the more precise areas, like brow bone, as you just saw, and the edges right next to where the deepest part of the crease is. So as you can see, the inside side of where the laugh lines are. I did struggle a little bit because I can't put makeup like too close to my lips and my mouth area, so that was quite annoying. So I had to kind of leave that area bare. But I hope you guys think it doesn't look too strange without that part. So yeah, now I'm just adding the highlight to the forehead area in between the little bulges there. Oh my god, I really hope I don't age this badly. It's actually a bit scary. But yeah, let's hope this doesn't actually happen. So yeah, I'm just blending out with my finger as well so things aren't a little bit too harsh. And now I'm going in and basically just buffing out everywhere, trying to balance the shadows and the highlights so nothing's too harsh. Feel free to, you know, go ahead and use your finger, use brushes, play around with it. This is why it's really important to set our face really well at the beginning with the translucent powder, because it means that the shadows that we're adding on now blend a lot more easier, So it makes your life so much easier in the long run, because otherwise it's going to look kind of patchy and everything, and that's not what we want. We want it to look quite natural, to create natural shadows and things like that, so that's quite important. So now what I've done is, this was an attempt and I'm actually quite surprised it worked, but I went in to try and lighten my eyebrows. So what you just saw was me taking that same shade Heaven from the Too Faced palette, and I just went and ran that over my brows with my finger, and it just kind of frosted them up a little bit, and it actually looked quite nice. I was quite happy with the outcome of that. So then I just went and got my fine brush again and took the shade Dreamer from the Tarte palette and went and darkened up the line of where the crease is, and now I'm buffing it out, but I'm leaving certain areas a little bit more defined, as you can see. So I just want it to stand out a little bit more without it all being diffused, but you still need to go in and buff it afterwards so that it's not too harsh, because you know, you still don't want it to look too abrupt. So that's why I'm going in and buffing that area now, because you don't want it to look like a sudden change between the darkest shade and the light shade that we're using. So you just want to slowly blend, blend, blend so that it looks relatively seamless. So that's basically what I'm doing here. Especially because from afar, I feel like the differences in the light and the dark can look quite harsh. You have to kind of, you know, remove yourself from it, like look away for a bit and then look back and be like, oh, okay, yeah, this bit's standing out too much, or this bit looks too sudden, and then basically just buff out and define accordingly. So it is, like I said at the beginning, very much a trial and error process. So you have to have quite a lot of patience. This video took me so much longer to film than I expected. So yeah, just dedicate enough time for, you know, trial and error. So now what I have done is I've gone in with a bigger fluffy brush and I just went and blended those areas together. Basically like bronzing the face, but a more refined version, but it's basically the biggest brush that I used in this, I'm pretty sure, because obviously you don't want to get rid of all the shading that we've just done, because that would be a complete waste of time. So yeah, now I just looked back and I was like, okay, I think the forehead and the laugh lines and certain big areas of wrinkles on my face need to be exaggerated a little more, which is why I am going in and adding that now. So it is, like I said, up to you and your preference, because I did go quite extra with it. You might want it to be a little bit more realistic. I went for like a super, super elderly person. I really hope my skin ages better than this. This is literally what I was thinking the whole time I was filming this. I was like, oh my god, I hope my skin doesn't get this wrinkly when I'm older, because yeah, that won't be too fun. I swear it's made me appreciate my skin so much more since. So yeah, that was one good thing that came out of this. Anyway, I'm getting so sidetracked. So I'm now basically looking at the bridge between the nose and the eye. I'm darkening that to make it look like my features are coming out a little bit more, to make them appear a lot sharper. As you can see, I've kind of sharpened. Okay, I just got something in my eye. I've sharpened my nose. I've made it look a little bit more stern, if that makes sense. Like defining the features even more. So yeah, that's just something I just felt like doing. I felt like it would complement the look, but obviously you don't have to do that. And now I'm just emphasizing the highlighted areas on the face to make it stand out a little bit more. I felt like it was kind of disappearing as I was doing it, so I kept having to be like, oh, okay, it's faded, now I need to like exaggerate this again, oh, I've lost the detail here, I need to go in and do it again. So that's why it was quite repetitive. So definitely set your face after you've done it, because you don't want to like be at the end of the night and then, you know, just look like you're just slightly tired and not like an elderly person, because that would be a bit embarrassing. But you know, each to their own. Yeah, so anyway, I just added some highlights on the end of the forehead wrinkles, ones that are like a little bit more subtle. And now I am highlighting my nose and my cheek area, but just really, really dramatically. And I'm taking my eyelids and I'm basically adding that light shade onto the main part of my lid, just to make them stand out a little bit more, because I felt like the detail was getting a bit lost in all the shadows. And I basically did a similar thing on the sides of my nose. I tried to make the edges of my nose stand out a little bit more, so I added that highlight there too. So now I basically took my ABH pencil, my Brow Wizz eyebrow pencil, and that's in the shade dark brown, I believe, and I used it to add some little freckles. So I basically added it to my cheek areas, the middle of my nose. I kind of dragged it up there, and I did a few on my forehead as well. So I just kind of dotted them around to make it look like there are a few more imperfections in the skin, because you don't want it to look, you know, literally like it's just makeup. Like, obviously this is obvious it's makeup, but you don't want it to look seamless. Then I went and added a bit of blush to certain areas to come and bring that pinkiness, that natural look back into the face. So I added that pinkiness and added a bit of shading to different areas in the middle of the cheeks and stuff like that to just exaggerate the little flaws. And I went back in with the highlighter to go and add that. Obviously not the shimmer highlighter. Like, when I say highlighter, I'm referring to like the light shade now. But yeah. Now I was like, okay, I want my bright bits to be like even brighter, so I took my NYX, oh my god, I can't believe I just called it NYX, my NYX Faux Whites Inner Eye Brightener in the shade Vanilla, which is like a really, really bright eye pencil, and it's in a really, really light yellow shade. So yeah, I just used that to accentuate the highlighted areas on the face, to basically just make everything a little bit more dramatic, as if it wasn't dramatic enough. Literally looking back, I'm like, oh my god, I really got carried away. And there's a little close-up for you guys. But that's basically the makeup done. I can't believe I talked through that whole video. Oh my god. Okay, so now I was like, okay, I'm just going to granify myself a little bit more. Yeah, I think I just made up that word, but we're just going to roll with it. So I put my hair in this little low bun, and I put these teardrop diamante earrings in, which are from River Island.
That's made a huge difference.
Yeah, I just spoke over myself talking, but basically I was like, oh my god, this has made such a big difference. So yeah, now I've added these glasses and a scarf around my head, and I'm just tying that with a little hairband to keep it secure. So yeah, that's basically the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe and share my video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
I just took it to your face, so let me tell you now. You're not going to be it.
Because you think I can't handle it?
Because I'm not throwing gasoline on a pile.
Go get the right. Go get the right.